Since I started working with my laser 18 months ago, I've put up a number of short video clips showing various stages of the process. And I've also put up tons of photography of completed projects. What I haven't done is kind of done a complete start to finish process, capturing everything from coming up with the idea through design to getting it into the laser to cutting the parts to working with it on the bench. And I have a really cool example of that today. I worked on a project based around these little LED tea lights. So this is a light emitting diode tea light. And what I'm doing is I'm building these little lantern covers. So it's a pretty simple little project. This happens to be a 6-sided one. So we're going to go through the design and manufacturing of these from start to finish. It took me about 40 minutes here in the shop, and we're not going to watch 40 minutes of video. I've sped up sections of it, and I'll give you just a brief overview commentary of each step along the way. What I really love about the laser is how quick it is, how quickly you can go from having an idea to having parts in your hand. So you're going to get to see that.
So we're starting out here in Illustrator, just getting things sized properly, and I want to make the plan view. This is the top-down view of this item. So build a hexagon of the right size with a circle, which is the cutout for the tea light. Now we've made the 3mm sides, and now we've finally thrown a segment out beyond that. I'm making the individual sides now, and now I'm going to use those same sides to make the various tabs that are going to be used. So now we've got the sides and the tabs that are going to fit in. Now we've got the side with both tabs, merge it together. What I'm doing here now is just making a sawtooth pattern. So on one side, it's going to cut away this sawtooth pattern, and on the other side, it's going to add to it. Now you're going to see me try some sizing and some spacing and decide that I want to modify it a little bit. And I think, no, too aggressive, so let's thin those down. So we're just going to change the size until we get something we like. Makes a very pleasing little pattern that later on light is going to come through. So now we are figuring out this line. And what I'm trying to do is build a zigzag. So I'm actually using the zigzag tool in Illustrator. I'm going to play around with it. I'm going to outline it, expand it, make it with a couple different steps, and I end up with this nice little snake shape. Got that in there, I distributed it, I figure out how many I want, get it distributed nicely, so I've got a nice side now. So that's the design of the side. Now I need to expand that to create the top. I'm going to use that same shape, make a duplicate of it, rotate it around so it's symmetrical with the sides. Let's just add some little shapes in, some additional circles here, so we have a few more shapes coming through. Once we have those once, we can rotate them. Now it's just a matter of making sure that that's all one piece and ready to go. And now we've really done most of the work that's required. So I'm going to start just taking this apart and making all of the individual pieces. So there's 2 top pieces, 2 bottom pieces, all slightly different. And then we need the 6 side pieces. And just to make the side pieces easier to put together, I put a little feature in the tab so I always know which direction they go, so I can make them symmetrical as I work around. There we go. That's just another little piece we're going to use later on to cut out the paper. Rename it, save it, make sure it's saved. Now we've jumped into Lightburn, which is the laser program that I use. We get things aligned in the laser bed, and I always like to put part numbers on things where I can fit them in the design, because then I can go back and find something in my design library. This is my 340th design, so it's rather important. Just simulated the burn, and now we're getting stuff into the laser. You've got the laser running, obviously at high speed, and there are all our parts. So now that we have the parts laid out, we're going to start our glue up. So I'm going to glue up the top first. I'm going to just get some glue on things, put it together, get the glue spread out, and get those pieces matched up with each other. No indexing marks in this case. I'm just using the edges, put it under the 1, 2, 3 blocks to create some weight and hold things together. Now we've done the bottom. That's where the tea light goes. Get that laid out, put it up. Just do a little bit more prep here. Now I'm going to put glue in each of the tab locations. Had a little problem there getting things aligned. And now I am putting the sides in. Now this is the tricky part, getting everything properly aligned and put together. Can take a little bit of practice. After a while you get better at it. So once I've got that all there, it goes back together happily, and let's lay it out, let it dry out. So this next part's fun. We're going to use that piece that we cut earlier, which is a slightly smaller hexagon, to make the piece that goes inside the top of the lantern. Now I'm going to cut a strip that is going to be the inside round of the lantern. Just getting everything aligned here is a little challenging. The paper's a little tough. And then we're just going to make sure that we've got about the right size. Then it's a quick run over to the sandblaster to get rid of the burn marks and bring it back to the bench. So with our final assembly, we're going to put the top, the paper in. We're going to roll up the side paper, drop it in, let it kind of expand itself, and now we have our lantern. I really like how these came out, both from an aesthetic standpoint, but also from a design and execution standpoint. Just under 40 minutes.